Good evening. I am Dr. Gregory Salters. Thank you all for tuning in so that we can talk a little bit tonight. We're dealing with success is options. And tonight we're going to be talking about Nia. Nia is the fifth principle of Kwanzaa, and Nia means purpose. How many times have many of us been talking about what is our purpose? We've been seeking our purpose. We've been saying, what is our purpose here? In our organizations, we've been talking about what is the purpose of the organization. And within organizations, we talk about mission statements and vision statements. You've heard things being talked about defunding the police. Does that mean defunding, reallocating funds, or does that deal with defining the purpose of law enforcement, the purpose also of our educators, the purpose also of our mental health professionals? When we begin to define those purposes from organizational standpoints, we can be successful and thrive as an organization. And we begin to find out what our purpose is for in us as an individual. We begin to thrive. So in Maya Angelou's words, we don't want to merely survive. We want to thrive. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to share this message with others so that we can go through and have some conversations, because I find it very interesting. I don't know whether you all really look at things and see how they are, and you look at Kwanzaa and you can find out the history of Kwanzaa, how it came about, and the principles that it actually deals with. But when we look at tonight as being the fifth principle, as a Prince Hall's affiliated Mason, we definitely know about how important 5 is. We look over there and we think about that, because as we're traveling and seeking the light, we're saying, what is it that we're actually dealing with? What is our purpose? How are we really moving forward? And to set the tone for us a little bit, I have a book. It's The Complete Kwanzaa, Celebrating Our Cultural Harvest. I want to just set it up for us to talk about what our purpose is, because when we actually talk about our purposes, we really move forward. And there's a gentleman out there that has a YouTube video, Michael J., and he talks about it. And it says, when you know your what from your why, when you know what your purpose is, you begin to really do things differently. And your why may be anything. For instance, in my life, my why is if I can help somebody succeed, then I will not be living in vain. Just like Martin Luther King, just helping others succeed, pouring into others. That's my why. Now, how I do that, or the what, that's totally different. So you begin to think about it. What is your why? What is your purpose? And when you find it, are you going to be thriving? So when you think about purpose, here's what it states here. This is dearer than breath, the meaning of Nia. Daily life presents problems for each individual to solve. Each test allows the person the opportunity to respond and responsible to life, to be responsive and responsible to life. Purpose is the essence of life, whereby each male and female has a specific mission in life. Each one of us has our own specific mission, a specific purpose that only he or she can fulfill. No one else can fulfill an individual's destiny but that person who has the necessary tools and skills to achieve. And that was by Newbill Niles Puckett. And what we'll think about that, how many times have you heard people say, what God has for you, no one can take away from you? How many times have we gone out there and we're doing things and it's really just our purpose? It is what we were put here to do. And many times I was talking to a friend and she was asking, how do you know your purpose? Many times you have to reflect. And if you look at it, there's always a day of rest during the week. And during that day of rest that you have, you should be reflecting on what has happened during that week. Put things out there. How do I reflect on it? When you reflect on it, you gain insight. And it's with that insight that you're able to make decisions going forward. That's how we avoid making the same mistakes that we've done before. Others state that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And let's talk about some purposes that we may have. When we're going through school, and I often think about high school, when you started your first day in high school, your purpose then, many of us, we're focusing on graduation. So everything that we were doing was going towards graduation. You could tell which classmates were really singular and focused on their graduation. It also occurred in college. You'd get there and you could tell which individuals were tremendously focused and had a purpose, which individuals were trying to find their purpose. As we began our careers, we started looking at it and saying, what is our purpose? What do we want to do? And sometimes you'll begin to talk about your passion. Is your passion the same as your purpose? That depends. I think that your purpose can be one thing as to why you're actually put here on this earth and what you're supposed to accomplish. And the passion, you could be passionate about doing certain things. And sometimes you can be passionate and turn your passion into your purpose, or your passion can help your purpose. For instance, if my passion or my purpose is to help others succeed, and my passion is speaking, I can be using my speaking to fuel my purpose of helping others succeed. So we have to peel back those onions and see what is our purpose. And this is one thing we often deal with as an individual. I don't know about you all, but sometimes I've been wondering, everything that I'm doing, am I doing what I am supposed to be doing? And John Maxwell states that everyone, and he defines and says, success is being significant. Everyone has an innate desire to be significant. We want to be significant to individuals. We want to be significant to each other. We want to be significant in society, however we define that. So what is your purpose? How are you doing that? And one analogy I'll also give you, because sometimes you may begin doing something and you see someone else that's trying to do the same thing or what you perceive to be yours, or you may see someone doing something and you try to do what you see them doing. I'll use purpose and looking at what our purpose is and getting focused on our purpose, kind of like a set of glasses. If I am focusing on a goal and I have my glasses on, if I give you my glasses, you will not see the same goals that I do, because my glasses were meant for me. Your glasses were meant for you, or if you do not wear glasses, that is what was intended for you. So as we're seeking our purposes, are we really looking within ourselves? Are we looking, saying, what makes us happy? How do we feel when we're doing these things? How do we peel back those onions to do that and say, what is our purpose? And sometimes, have you found your purpose? And sometimes you need to refocus your what, or reframe what you're doing to be in line with your purpose. You may be out there and you may enjoy dance, and dance is your passion. And you may also like to teach. So do you use your ability to dance to get into teaching? Or what do you do to help you? Melissa, thank you for joining us with focusing on this principle today. Yes, indeed. It's amazing how things align when you're really focusing on that passion or your purpose, Melissa. It's many times when you look at it, you may be in a career. How many times have we seen individuals that have been in careers? A lot of other individuals thought they were tremendously successful. They may have been attorneys, they may have been doctors, engineers, CPAs, auditors, whatever it is, and everyone thought they were really doing well, earning tremendous amounts of money, but they were not having any sense of satisfaction, didn't feel that they were working in their purpose. And so then they began doing something else. They will leave that field and go do something else that others are like, wow, why did you do that? But many times, if you do not feel that what you're doing is aligned with your purpose, you cannot be as happy, as content going forward. And many people have also said that if you can find and work within your passion or your purpose, you will never, quote, work a day in your life. So we have to go out there, figure out what is our purpose. You have to talk to individuals, talk to people that are in your circle, talk to your family members, talk to people that you work with. And it's very interesting. Have you ever been working with a coworker and you see how they work, and you see them in a different environment and they totally are different individuals? They seem to light up when certain things happen and things are going, and you can see their whole body language change. Then that's when you can see that they're really working in their purpose. Everything changes. In the analogy that Michael Jr. does, he goes over there and he has a gentleman singing, and the guy is singing, and he asked the guy to sing a song, and the guy sang it. Then he gave the guy a reason for singing it. Then the guy sang it totally differently. It's kind of like if someone asks you to go to the bank, you say, okay, I'll go to the bank. But if they tell you, if you go to the bank and you get there before the bank closes, you will have $1 million. I venture to say once they're given a purpose and a reason for going, I think they will move a little bit quicker, knowing that they will get $1 million if they get there before they close, as opposed to merely going to the bank. Their purpose was changed. Their purpose was defined. So therefore they're doing it. Same thing as a leader. Good evening, Brother Linda. How are you doing? I know that you've been a firefighter and also being one of those guys that understand the importance of those 5th principles. I know what we're talking about, always seeking light, trying to get that purpose, because once we work in that purpose, then we're really not working. And I know a lot of things that you like to do, Brother Linda, is out there in the community. You like helping out. You like making sure the community is together. So anything that people need in the community to help them go forward, I know that you're all about that. So I'm looking forward to some events that I know you're going to be putting on in the Fort Lauderdale and Lauderhill areas to help us improve those communities. And that's the reason that you join organizations and you join with others that have a similar purpose as yours. So therefore you can increase your impact. That's why you join the organizations. And I know, Brother Linda, you're with Tom Raines Lodge number 484. And so we're doing things out there in the community. And now when you look at it also, when I've looked with it with police departments, and we look at it, if our purpose is to truly get down crime and reduce the fear of crime in our communities, are we really being intentional about that? Or what other things can we actually do to get everyone in our organization to do that? I'll use a military analogy. If the military's analogy is to defend the U.S. and to defend our territories, if you look at it, when they go through their boot camp and military training, everyone is taught to be a soldier. Everyone is taught to use their firearms. So no matter what your job or your title is, that is what your purpose is, to go out and do. It's kind of like also one of my favorite movies that I like watching is Akeelah and the Bee. If you all have never watched that movie, watch Akeelah and the Bee. In that, she was this little Black girl that was in school, and in many of our schools, it's not acceptable to be smart. It's not cool to be smart. So she was trying to dumb that down, but she was tremendous. A young lady, tremendously smart, had the coaching and was going to the spelling bee. And the scene that I really liked the most was when her brother was trying to go sideways and deal with drug activity. And the dope guy came up and was talking to him. And he used to write poems. And her brother was going to be going out trying to do things illegally. And the guy that was working out there doing his illegal trade told the brother at that time, no, don't come with me. Your bigger purpose is to help your sister with that spelling bee. So again, working in that purpose. And when we start saying what that purpose is and working towards it, our whole community can move forward. So we're in our law enforcement capacity and we're getting down our crime in these areas. If that's truly our purpose, if you're an officer, that means every action that we take, we should be defining that by either building bridges in our community and also getting down crime. From a management perspective, we should be looking at our policies, be looking at our procedures, making sure that we have that as a core belief and core actions and things that we're doing. We're trying to get down crime and reduce the fear of crime in our community. That is our purpose. All of my educators out there, I love you all to death. And when you're out there talking and dealing with things, and this is what I really want everybody to understand, if you really know an educator, their whole purpose is to help our community and help civilization advance. And when you really want to see what an educator really enjoys, an educator really enjoys it when they see their students succeed. If you really want to see an educator rejoice, you find that one individual that has been out there that really gave the educator a hard time, the one that maybe that student that didn't believe that they were going to go as far as they did, and that educator stays there. They deal with the whole social emotional learning. They understand the whole person's dynamics. And that's one of the things, one of the young men that I've talked with when I taught DARE, we nicknamed him Sad Man because every time we saw him, he would be sad. But then when I talked to him and I found out in the 5th grade, he was taking care of his little sister who was 5. He was taking care of his little brother And all this had to get them to school because his single mother was a nurse and she left the house before they got to school. And so he was having to fight to get the little brother and sister to school. What was his purpose? To get his little brother and sister to school. That was years ago. Now he is a nurse. He has done tremendously well, succeeding, starting his family, just had a little son not too many days ago. But those are things that we talk about purpose. So as an educator, that purpose was to help that sad man be successful. And now that sad man is really successful. So we have to look at everything that we're doing. Are we really seeking our purpose? Are we really moving forward in our purpose? And when we're talking once again, I want you all to think about this, because of everything happening, many times towards the end of the year, people begin to reflect on what's happened during the year. I want each of you all to reflect on everything that has happened in your life up until this point. I want you to look at them. I want you to start saying, what is it that is helping me get to my purpose? What is it that I am here to do? What is it that only I can do the way that I do it? We start looking at that purpose, and this is just our fifth principle. So you start looking at these principles and you start saying, what principles are there? Kwanzaa lays out some great principles, but particularly with purpose. What is our purpose? What are we meant to do? What are we doing to find out what our purpose is and moving forward? Here are just a few thoughts from the same book that's talking about our purpose. One, allow no one to control your dreams. One of the times when we talk about dreams, they say if you can dream it, you can achieve it. When I was growing up, we used to play games like that's my car or that's my house, because we know that you need to dream big. As they say, set your sights tremendously high. And if you fall a little short, you're still going to be amongst the stars. We need to dream big. Next, give 110% effort the very first time, because you're never going to get, or let's say many times you don't get a second opportunity. People always say you only have a first opportunity for first impressions. So what is your first impression going to be with other individuals and with other organizations? What's your purpose? Let's set it out there. Also, we need to plan to succeed. We need to plan to succeed. What are we doing? What steps are we making so that we can be successful? Many times we fail to plan, and that is what stops us from succeeding. The next one, are you committed to success? I saw one of the other individuals, they did a video and they were talking about success, and they were talking about it, and they said, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Because the thing that you look at is that you should want success so bad, just as the analogy is if you're out there in an ocean and feeling like you're about to drown. How bad do you want oxygen? That's how bad you should want success, and you should be doing everything that it takes to get there. That is your purpose. You think about your athletes that are performing at tremendously high levels. They work hard off court. They work hard off the field so that when they get on the field, the game is there. You look at your students. The students that are your top students are the ones that are studying, not when the teacher's saying study. They're doing their extra time. They're putting in their time. When you talk about the blink theory, when you're talking about the outliers, you're talking about it where people say that whatever you do 10,000 times, that's what you would be good at. So if there's something that you want to be good at, start counting. Have you done it 10,000 times? That's when you're focusing on success. That's when we're beginning to live in our purpose. The next one that we want to do is think about how you project yourself. When you're out there, how do you project yourself? What do people think about you? What do you put out there? What aura do you have? Are you walking around as if you have made it? Some people you say fake it until you make it. Are you dressing for success? There was a book about that long years ago, Dress for Success. When people see you, do they say, wow, you look like you should be X? Are you doing that? Those are the things that we have to do. Even Shakespeare said it. The world is your stage. So what are you doing as you're up here on this stage? Are you living in your purpose? Are you pushing things? Are you doing things that will be helping you get in your purpose so that therefore you can thrive? The next one is continue to learn. We often talk about it, but lifelong learning is key to your success. The day that you don't learn anything is a wasted day. Every day you should learn something that you did not know the day before. Next one, set goals for yourself. And one of the things that we do sometimes when you set goals, sometimes we don't really know how to set goals. They have to be smart, they have to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistically, and you have to set a time on when you will do these. So sometimes you can set a big goal, which would be a terminal goal, but you need to set intermediate goals. So many times when we don't know how to set goals, it sets us up for failure towards getting to our purpose. Can you imagine if your first day in high school, you set a goal to graduate high school, but you never got a report card between your first day in your freshman year and when you were supposed to graduate? You have no intermediate goals, nothing happening along the way to let you know where you are. If you notice, if you were to get in your car and go on a trip, you have things called mile markers that let you know where you are. In your life and in your path, in your success journey, have you set up mile markers that let you know where you're going? If you are working out and you have fitness goals, why do you have days that you go in and get measured? Those are mile markers on your fitness journey. That's Dr. Katina. She can talk to you about those fitness journeys and things that you're on out there. These are the things that we're looking for. Set up your mile markers in your success and your purpose journey. Also, keep a positive outlook. You can even talk to it with medical professionals. They will tell you that many times the state of mind is what really helps individuals. So if you can stay positive, then you can really move forward. And I've told you all this before, I believe. One of these times it was a little boy and he was out in the backyard throwing the ball up, swinging his bat. He's like, he's going to be a batter when he grows up. So he was going out there, he threw up the ball and he swung and he missed. He threw the ball up again. He swung and he missed again. He looked at the ball, looked at his bat and said, okay, I got it this time. He throws the ball up and he misses again. At that time, some of us would have given up and said that we aren't going to be good at baseball. That's not what he did. He looked at that ball and said, I must be a better pitcher. I'm going to be a pitcher. All about the pivot. So what are you doing to find out what your purpose is? At that particular time, that young man found out that he thought that his purpose was to be a batter. But after he went through some self-reflection, his purpose was to be a pitcher. So to all my batters out there, let's pick up a ball and let's start pitching. The next that we have is believe in your dream. When you have a dream, you should believe in it. If you don't believe in your dream, no one else will. And you think about it, many of the things that individuals are doing now, and I talk to people about their careers, many things that people are doing now as a career did not even exist when I was in high school, college. Many of the jobs that are thriving now and people are doing did not exist many years ago. Google was not even a thought when I was in high school. So therefore, those are some of the things we have to look at. What is it that's coming in the future that we have no idea of now? Brother Linda, you are definitely correct. You say you must have a true belief in yourself. And the thing that you have to do is sometimes you have to cultivate that. And so many times people will go over there and they will beat you up and beat you down. And it's kind of like a book that was out, was The Invisible Man. And in that one, it said that if you tell an individual so many times that they have to go to the back door, when you control their mind, if there is no back door, they will make one for themselves. So we have to also be able to encourage each other, motivate each other, because you may see another individual that needs some encouragement and they may be trying to find their purpose. They may be waiting for you to help them find their purpose and just to speak with them to get them there. This is what we're talking about with Nia. This is what we're talking about with purpose. We need to find it for ourselves, and we also need to help others find it for themselves. The next one that we have is we're talking about use your determination to turn every negative situation into an opportunity. Many times you've heard people say, when given lemons, make lemonade. Many times that's very hard to do. But one thing that you have to look is every time something happens, there is a lesson to be learned. And as I was growing up, my dad used to tell me different phrases. And one that he tells me many times and that sticks with me is that he used to tell me that some people show you how not to do things. Sometimes you've seen people in life's journey do things that did not work out well for themselves. You should use that and learn vicariously, learn through others that might not be what you need to do. How many of us have worked in organizations and we've worked for individuals that did not apply proper leadership skills or techniques? That showed us what not to do when we were in those positions. So we must go out there, think about what our purpose is. Analyze what our purpose is. Take time to reflect. Sometimes we need to unplug just so that we can reflect on things so that we can find out what our true purpose is. And when you find out what your true purpose is or what your Nia is, then you can begin to truly thrive. I'd like to thank you all for joining in. I'd like to thank you all for communicating. I want to encourage everyone out here to seek out, find your purpose, begin working in your purpose. Your purpose is your why. Now, what you do while working in your purpose is a totally separate conversation. I want you to think about it. Find out your purpose, work in your purpose, those things that give you fulfillment, those things that make you feel significant. Find out what that purpose is, work for it, help our community. We all need each other. When you're thinking about law enforcement, get in here with law enforcement, partner with law enforcement so that we as law enforcement professionals can work in our purpose to get down crime and improve the quality of life in our communities. Partner with your educators. We have our educators need our assistance out here. This is us working together. Partner with your local chamber of commerces. Our businesses, our sole proprietorships are needing us. Partner with everyone that we can. One of the things that I see also, I see Brother Powell, Ike Powell. Thank you for joining in, Brother Powell. Things that we're dealing with. We are trying to find out what our purposes are, live within our purpose so that we can thrive. So once again, I am Dr. Gregory A. Salters. Success is an option. I want you to use this option to work in your purpose so that we can all thrive. Please follow me on the YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. Connect with me, share with me, put in there your comments, anything that you'd like to have us to discuss, because we all know that working together, we are increasing our options and increasing our chances of success as a society. I am Dr. Gregory A. Salters, and you all have been seasoned for success.